Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Truth Serum. We got a lot to unpack, so you know how we do it. Go get something to drink. We're gonna see about. We know about the election. We'll touch upon that. But Mike Franzese, I want to play something from Mike Franzese just about this government and what we used to say years ago. Yeah, they're worse than us. The government, they're worse than us. Some regimes are worse. So, and I also, happy birthday to my brother. I love you, Bobby. And God bless and God rest my mom who passed away on this date. So I love you, Mama. And I love you, Bobby. Happy birthday. And let's get this started here. So I'm going to play some things. Where's Kamala? She's always going to do an interview somewhere down the road, you know, like she's the number one draft pick, but she ain't took a snap. How could you be the number one draft pick? You haven't took a snap. We got a real big show, Frank Ferraro. So we're gonna unpack some things, like with the Colombo family, Mike Franzese, and everybody, and it was just common knowledge and conversation and everything that they're locking up the Italians and racketeers, and then then the government says, "Oh, let's do the daily numbers game." Oh, well, that's racketeering, ain't it? Let's do this. Just like when they had prohibition, they said, "Oh, well, let's make money on it." The wise guys just laid the did the blueprints for the government to pick up. The Mafia said, well, you want to make money, run some things, run some rackets. And then at first the government said, oh, no, we're putting you in jail. And then they said, could generate a lot of revenue there. These Democrats, they're worse than the Diablo. These Democrats and what they're doing. This literally has become, I've been waiting 40 years for this because, like I said before, I used to write papers about this in college and business school and stuff like that. And they, these brainwashed professors would say, oh, geez, that could never have, why'd you write a paper like that? Because sometimes people have vision. You could see the trajectory ever since Nixon. So, Mike Franzese, I've said a lot about Mike Franzese years ago. The Colombo family, I used to deliver the bread and milk, and yeah, okay, blah blah blah. I don't agree with some of the things he said, Mike Franzese, pertaining to whatever he's done. But that's mob tube, that's mob talk. Of course, I wrote. I did a lot of videos of bashing, straight up bashing. So, but in that world, now I give him more credence. I give him more credence on his political stuff. Okay, the mob will make you crazy, and whatever he did. We ain't gonna unpack that. But I applaud and appreciate the other DNA that he has, is being a seer and recognizing, like anybody else in America should be able to recognize. But it seems like there's millions of people that are just brain dead. So we got a video I'm going to play from Mike. You could just listen to the video, but he's saying that in this current election year. But this is the way, well, everybody was historically Democrats. The Italians and everybody, historically speaking, generationally speaking, were Democrats. Coming up, the Italians was up, whatever the Democratic Party was, we had an allegiance to that. But then I grew out of that as an adult when I became a thinker, and then, whatever. So, but what is going on in today's America is, you would think it would be impossible to happen, but yeah. Now Google Google and the high-tech media, they're blocking the word searches for Trump, J.D. Vance. They're blocking it. Google. Who's behind Google? Some Democrat? Some globalist? Blocking keywords. And when you get in there, if you could get into a Donald Trump Google search or this or that or video, they just stream Kamala ads. I bashed Kamala on here, and right during my video, there'll be a Kamala Harris ad. You're pretty slick, YouTube. I don't want the 3 cents, okay? So don't give me that ad. I don't want that 1 penny, okay? So I don't want any of the ads, YouTube, okay? I don't want to look at Kamala Harris, okay? It's like kryptonite, you know? You're like, it's like looking at the sun. So let's hear Mike Franzese, Frank.
Everyone, welcome to another sit down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. As always, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to my God for that. Just got back from Mobile.
Yeah, we got to give all of glory. We got to give the glory to God. Now, I don't care if there's 5 people or 20 people. I give the glory to the God. If they don't like it, run, whatever. I got a book here too. The link is in the description for all the cheapskates out there. For all the cheapskates that got cobwebs in their pockets and fish hooks.
Alabama. I did a church service at a church called Surge. Just had a great time there. The pastor Brad was wonderful. All the people were wonderful. Just got back from that. And I'll be heading to Houston, then Vegas this week. And then next week, I'm going to Europe.
Hold on. Frank, can you hear that, Frank?
Again, I'm going to be sitting with the Tates again. We have a lot to discuss. And by the way, you know what? Andrew Tate and Kristen Tate, for the past week, ever since that debacle at the Olympics where they made fun of, they disgraced the Last Supper and Jesus Christ, they've been out there speaking out against that. They really have been. And
they're talking about that disgrace they did, Philly, Bob, and Frank. He's talking about that disgrace they did to the Last Supper. The Last Supper. What kind of globalist IOC, International Olympic Committee, what kind of globalist, devilish scumbags would crap all over the Last Supper and Jesus Christ? And then have men fighting women in the boxing. Yeah, then have men fight women in boxing. What's this world coming to? Thank you guys for hanging out.
They've been telling people, how can you let something like this go? Now, Andrew, in the last couple of years became a Muslim. Tristan is still a Christian, but they were so offended, both of them, about that debacle, like I was and many Christians were, in the opening ceremony of the Olympics, that they're speaking about it. They're outright speaking about it. And, what hits me there is, why aren't more Christians talking about that? Why aren't we out in the streets talking about it? I've been hitting it up on Rumble.
Oh, I talk about it on YouTube, and I'm shadow banned. I don't have the ability to get another subscriber now. So I talked about it, Mike. I talked about it. I talked about a lot of different political things. That's why I'm currently being shadow banned on YouTube, buddy.
And everywhere else, but we should be talking about this. It's a disgrace, and they're doing it peacefully, and we should be doing it peacefully also. But we should make it known that we don't stand for this. You don't, mock Jesus and mock the Last Supper and get away with something like this. So you know what? I applaud Andrew and Tristan for doing that, and all you people that.
And I applaud Mike Franzese. I've said a lot about Mike Franzese, but that's mob stuff, and that's this and that. But this carries more weight. He's got a big platform, and he don't have to do this. And I really respect what he's doing here. I respect that. He's very, very smart, intelligent man. Yeah, he did some things I don't agree with. And way back when I was going nuts, he had compassion on me, with the milk and the bread and everything. So he had, the mob will make you nuts. Look at me.
Sometimes look at some of the controversial things they say. on social media. I don't know why you're not applauding them for this, because they should be applauded for it. They're standing up, and like I said, Andrew is a Muslim right now. Hopefully soon to be Christian again. We don't know, but I've been talking to him about it. But at least he has the courage and the strength, and it was offended enough by what
he was talking about. This guy that he's a Muslim, but he was just like sticking up in Italy or somewhere, sticking up that, hey, that's wrong, whatever. Don't mock somebody's religion. That's what he's referring to here. Don't mock somebody's religion on a national platform, the Olympics. They should rot in hell.
he saw, to get out there and talk about it. And the same with Tristan. We're going to talk about when I get with them next week for sure, and a lot of the other chaotic things that are going on in this world. You know, we might be on the brink of World War III. Who knows? You know what's going on. Iran is about to attack Israel. Are we going to get drawn into that? We're sending our boats over there now. We're sending more military equipment over.
37 ships we got over there now. At least that's what they're reporting. And they're knocking those missiles out of the sky from Hezbollah in Iran. They're intercepting, but you can't intercept them all. Just like October 7th, Israel got smashed.
There now, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks? Chaos all over the world. Wow. I want to talk to them, get their perspective on it, and we'll see what happens from there. But, you know, today I got an interesting subject to talk about. And, you know, as a lot of people are saying, Michael, we don't have many more mob stories out of you. Well, people, I'm not going to make stories up. I've said so much over the past couple of years, everything that I can remember about that life.
Poor Mike. It's like me, too. You know, the mob stories. I told you he run out of stories when I was talking smack about him. You know, how many could there be? You know, but he's a good communicator and very knowledgeable on things, and I give him much respect for that.
I've told you that I can remember. Now, if something new comes up and it jogs my memory, or we hear a story about a current, you know, happening going on, I'll gladly talk about it. And I do want to bring up this. August 11th, there is a show coming out on the History Channel, because I know a lot of you are asking, Michael, Mob Movie Monday, we want it again. Well, we ran out of movies, but there's some more coming up. August 11th. It's called The Five Families. It's based on a book by Selwyn Robb, a guy that I know well, good friend, very credible guy, did a lot of research. It's a huge book. I don't know, 500 pages, maybe more.
Great author.
He really did his research, and he did a great job. So they made a documentary out of it. I think it's a 3-part series. I'm pretty prominently featured in episode 2, I believe.
Sorry, Mike, but I hope they don't call you former mob boss. Please forgive me. I just hope they don't call you former mafia boss in that docu-series. Forgive me.
I interviewed for it about a year and a half ago. I almost forgot about it, but I saw the trailer. We might post it on this video so you could watch it, but I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. I remember the producer. He pretty well was on top of his game on that, and I did my thing, and I don't know who else they've interviewed for it, but I'm thinking it's going to be a good one, and I will review that. So The Five Families, August 11th. So I have somewhat of a mob story today. And people don't relate it to politics. Michael, politics. Look, people, we got to talk about issues that are going on today. If you don't want to talk about it, there's something wrong with you, because this affects all of us, all of our lives on a daily basis. But Nancy Pelosi, very interesting person, powerful person in Congress. You know, there's something about her.
Nancy Pelosi, let's get started. He's like, there's something about her. Yeah, you look at her and you just feel evil, like emitting from her, just like Dorothy Hochul, the New York State governor. You look at these trolls and you feel something emitting from their essence, from their presence.
I watch her, you know, there's just something, the moves that she makes, the way she talks, you know, and interestingly enough, her father was alleged to have mob ties. He was a prominent Democrat.
Hold on here. What did he just say? Her father allegedly had mob ties.
Congressman, I think back in the 1930s to the 1940s. Then he became mayor of Baltimore from 1947, I think, or from 1939 to 1947, something like that. Anyway, He was an important Democratic person at that time, and he had ties to the mob. I remember I told you this. All mobsters were Democrats back then. Why? Because they were easier to corrupt. That's the bottom line. Like it.
All the mobsters were Democrats because they had all these politicians in their pocket. Now the globalists, billionaires, trillionaires, got the government in their pocket. They just shifted the money. The politicians, the evil Democrats, they're sold to the highest bidder.
Not like it. That's the truth. That's my experience. But interestingly enough, I came across an article. I want to read it for you, and then I'm going to have them post a little YouTube video that I saw as a news clipping about her father, Nancy Pelosi's father. But let me read this to you. It's very interesting. President John F. Kennedy asked the FBI to look into Speaker Pelosi's father for connections to the mob. The document that was quietly released last week confirms this. Now, this was written January 13, 2021. So this document was released on January 6th, and we know what happened on January 6th. On January 6th, the FBI quietly released documents related to Nancy Pelosi's father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., was investigated by the FBI in 1961 per request from President John F. Kennedy. And prior to that, the reason Kennedy asked for that is because in 1947, J. Edgar Hoover started an investigation also on D'Alessandro Jr., Pelosi's father. I think Pelosi, she was, 2021 at that time. She grew up with her father. She knew her dad, obviously. She knew his business. He was a Democrat. She became a Democrat. And the allegation was that the mob helped him, number one, supported him during his Congress term, and then helped him become mayor of Maryland.
So he's saying allegedly that the mob influenced and financed Pelosi's father when he got into his career. And then she was younger at the time, and then she followed suit. And now the mobsters financed her father, and now she comes along and evolves into a demon, and now she's worse than the mobsters. Ivan Lord, EB23, thank you for joining. Let's continue.
The vote in his way. And it was alleged that he took bribes for the mob and so on and so forth. None of this surprises me, Bill. None of this whatsoever surprises me, because we had people in Congress that were all Democrats that were doing our bidding at that time. So why do I relate this to Nancy Pelosi? I'm not inferring in any way that she has mob connections now. She grew up with her father. She understood. She knew the people that were around him.
He's not inferring that she's got mob, but she knows the game. She was young. She watched her father rock and roll with the guys with the fancy Cadillacs come in and out. She knew the hustle. She knew the game. And she knew that the mobsters were paying all these Democratic politicians. She knew the game. Become a politician and get the money.
Sometimes you pick up the moves and, your father has an impact on you and so on and so forth. And, just look at Nancy's style. She once made a quote. She said, anybody that has ever dealt with me knows not to mess with me. That's mob talk. She had another quote about a knife or something. You put the gun down, I take the knife, something like that. Or you put a knife on the table, I'm coming with a gun, something like that. And it's a little bit, okay. Why are you saying things like that?
She was talking in mob vernacular and stuff like that because she overheard it and everything. He's referring she's trying to boast in her political style and stuff way back whenever she said it. She's like, oh, if you put a knife, if you put a table between us and you put a knife on the table and a gun on the table and we're going to war, I'll get to the gun first. She's.
Anyway, maybe she was around her father and heard things like that because of the mob influence. Well, my friends, Michael Franzese here, and I am very excited to introduce to you all our non-alcoholic wine. Really excited.
Mike, did you have to sell wine during this? Now, we were getting along just fine, Mike, up until this point. Did you have to sell some wine during this? God bless the guy. Let him sell his wine. Non-alcoholic wine.
proud about this because I'll tell you why. The process is a little bit different. This is real wine. It's not grape juice. It goes through the normal process of fermentation. A significant person in the Democratic Party also. So now this is the headline to this article. Nancy Pelosi murdered Joe Biden's political career, but now she wants him on Mount Rushmore. What a shameless hypocrite. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the latest.
The globalists told Obama told Nancy Pelosi, and then they says, get Biden out of here right now. Get Biden out of here. They get rid of him. They throw him in the dumpster. And then she comes out and says, I want to put a request to put Joe Biden on Mount Rushmore. What kind of sick individuals operate like this? She's had carte blanche for 80 years in politics. She looks like she's 110. She's had carte blanche. She runs the hit squad like it was like a mob hit, you know. So the boss, the globalist, comes to Obama, you know, the underboss, and then the captain, Pelosi, says, yeah, let's get rid of you. Yeah, okay. Now he's gone, you know, political assassination. And then, yeah, well, you know what? I want to propose that we put Joe Biden's mug on Mount Rushmore. Would he be taking a nap? Would he be sleeping? Or would they just put his ass cheeks on? Put Joe Biden's ass cheeks on Mount Rushmore. Forgive me, folks. What's up, Ivan, EB23?
She said Joe Biden was such an amazing president that he should have his face on Mount Rushmore. Do you believe this? Look, I don't want to get into that, but what the heck did he do in 3.5 years? I don't get it.
Right.
There's chaos throughout the world, and the country's in the worst shape it's been in God knows how long, and she wants to put his face on Mount Rushmore. I don't get it.
They should come up with another mount called Mount Crushmore. And then you could put Kamala up there. You could put Joe Biden up there. Call it Mount Crushmore and put their asses on there.
But you know what? It's the hypocrisy of it. So now let me read the article. Nancy Pelosi has what we British, it's a British man that wrote this, would call a, quote, brass neck. It's a saying that alludes to someone so thick-skinned it makes them utterly impervious to any sense of shame for their self-interested or hypocritical actions. It's an open secret in Washington. Listen to this. An open secret in Washington that Pelosi just did to Joe Biden what Marcus Brutus did to Julius Caesar. Betrayal. Of course, she didn't act.
It's like what Brutus did to Caesar. Et tu, Brute? Oh, I thought we were friends. No, here, total betrayal. These people don't have any souls. They're soulless. They're demonic, and we know where they're going.
Actually, kill him. Brutus killed Caesar. She did kill his political career. So what she did to Joe Biden just about killed his political career, did kill his political career. And let me make this clear. I have no empathy whatsoever for Joe Biden.
Me either.
What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. This guy has been a disastrous president, not only on, domestically, but on the world stage. He's a pathological liar. He's a hypocrite. He's destroying our country. So I have no empathy for him. I'm just giving you the backstabbing and the mob-like behavior of Nancy Pelosi and others in Congress. No question.
They're worse than the mob because the mob was isolated and constrained to their groups and whatever they did within that environment. They're perpetrating these insane policies on America. They're worse than gangsters. They're taking our free country down. Way worse than gangsters. Wait, give me Al Capone first before Chuck Schumer, Dorothy Hochul, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi. Give me Al Capone.
Others in government. Kamala Harris being another one, but let's go on. Following the president's humiliating debate debacle with Donald Trump, we know it was humiliating, Pelosi appointed herself chief assassin. So after she saw the debate, she said, that's enough. I'm getting rid of this guy. I'll be one who continued to support him publicly while knifing him in the back behind the scenes. So you know what? You talk about mob guys being bad. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is supposedly, a very ethical woman, a congresswoman.
Oh, yeah.
The government is so pure and they do the right thing and they take an oath, to uphold the law and to act in the best benefit of the people that they serve. Okay? And here she is backstabbing him because he was no longer of any use. And we know Joe Biden didn't want to get out. So she appointed herself.
Just like in the mob, when you're useless and you're backhanded and now your time is up, just like in the mob, it's time to go. Where the cold winds blow.
She has that much juice and control in Congress. She appointed herself to go out and get Joe Biden so bad that he won't even talk to her. As Politico reported on July 17th, quoting one of her allies, this is one of her allies, Pelosi's allies, the speaker does not want to call on him to resign, but she will do everything in her power to make sure it happens. Doesn't it sound a lot like how they picked Joe?
Now, she don't want to say it. She just gets her little underlings, just like the mob. She's getting her little underlings to go over there and put the guy to sleep. Bye-bye. So she's well versed in mob policies.
Up for 3.5 years on how they said he was, he was perfect. He was so mentally capable. He was on top of his game when all the while Pelosi and everybody knew the guy was, falling into a state of dementia, that he wasn't qualified to run the country. But they said it's okay because they were pulling the strings on this puppet. It was okay. This is your government. This is the fine, upstanding, ethical, honest people that we put in office.
Learn about crypto and get rewarded as you learn.
That's crazy.
Coinbase Learning
Completely crazy.
Over 100.
And that's exactly what she did until Biden finally fell on the sword. She dropped in front of him. So she was the one that really started this. She must have got together with Obama. As soon as they knew that donor money was being cut off.
The globalists said, whoa, whoa, whoa. The globalists that hand the tens of millions to the campaigns, no. The globalists said, hey, Obama, that's a wrap. That party's over. Starts with the globalists, folks.
And they said, hey, we got to act. Because what matters in this country, what matters to them is staying in power. Wrote it in my book, Mafia Democracy. It's all about staying in power. They're making me like a prophet here. I mean, I see this I've seen it for the last 30, 40 years.
Just like me, Mike. I've been saying this since my first bid in college. I've seen things starting to get shaky. Why this, why that, and that. And I wrote papers, and the professors were like, "Oh, geez, what why would you think that?" Well, here it is, the moment of truth, 2024. I waited 40 years to see if Marxism can really take over America. For 3.5 years, it has, along the way with some other Marxist curveballs. But this will be the real fall of America if the Democrats get in. So I've been waiting 40 years because just like Mike just stated, we've seen this 35, 40. We've seen this, how these guys rolled and they want power and money.
Since I was on the street. But this is what you're dealing with. You want to talk about mafia? I'm talking about it right now. This is mafia. They happen to be in control of the country.
Right.
Nancy made it clear that they could do this the easy way or the hard way. Hey, that's a mob day. Hey, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You want to listen up? What do you want to do? I'll do it any way you want. This is...
Yeah, listen, Tony Baloney. We can do it the easy way or we could do it the hard way. You're going to be freaking deported to Siberia. Okay? Other than that, well, get your affairs in order. It's all mob strategy.
We're talking. Any way you want. We do it easy, we do it hard. Either way, it's going to happen. So you make your choice. The media were briefed afterward, making her sound like Michael Corleone in Godfather Part 2. I wonder why they're referencing Michael Corleone.
I know.
Joe Biden was forced to quit his dream job, the one he had fought so ardently to get his whole political life, and the one he never had any desire or intention of voluntarily giving up. You know what? In the mob world, we don't make people give up. We killed him, okay? She didn't kill him, but she killed his political career. This was the guy she stood up for. This was the guy she spoke about. This is the guy she supported, the guy she backed up, the guy that she lied to the entire country about. And then she stabbed him in the back when he was no longer of any use. That was it.
Mob
So
life.
who's worse? Okay, so come on, man. You're talking murder, Michael. Well, you know what? That's the oath we took. We know that if we make a mistake or we do something, we can pay for it with our lives.
Yep.
But look at this. Backstabbing, destroyed his political career. No use anymore. Get rid of him. These are the people that are in control of our lives. You believe this? By backing out of the 2024 race just 4 months before the election and 6 months before the end of his first term, Biden instantly entered the pantheon of the biggest ever presidential losers. So Nancy Pelosi caused him to be one of the biggest ever presidential losers.
Nancy Pelosi goes through all that, and then afterwards, let's put him on Mount Rushmore. Let's put him on Mount Rushmore.
Sorry, I think he was a presidential loser, the biggest ever in my lifetime. Even before that, she only added to it. That's it. In the process, he also became a global laughingstock. You know what? This country is a global laughingstock because after getting rid of Biden, now they're going for the other laughingstock who can't put two solid words together.
Kamala.
Okay? In her word salad way. You know, we are a laughingstock, people. You got to admit it. You got to admit it. This is what we've come.
We're a laughing stock. Biden fell asleep 3 times at the World Summit and allegedly shit his pants. What?
To here. An object of ridicule, mockery, and embarrassment that reportedly left him feeling utterly crushed. Biden was utterly crushed because he knows it was embarrassing. Do you remember about a week or two before what he said? I'm going the distance unless the Lord himself came down and told me that I had to get out. Well, the Lord himself was, according
Obama.
to Nancy Pelosi, her. She was the self-appointed Lord or assassin to get rid of.
She was the self-appointed assassin, but Obama came in the mix, and of course the globalists came in. You got globalists, Obama, Pelosi.
Joe Biden. And of course she had Barack Obama's help, and then she went to Chuck Schumer,
Oh.
and then she went to that other liar, Adam Schiff, the worst guy in Congress. Of course he comes from California, like Nancy Pelosi, like Newsom, like Kamala Harris, the California crew.
The California crew, Newsom, Pelosi, Harris. That's why, Mike, did you move out there to that state?
Okay, wants to run this country, we really will be in trouble. Forget about it. Bad trouble. Yet on Sunday, there was his assassin, Nancy Pelosi, popping up on CB News Sunday morning to call for him to be added to Mount Rushmore. Is this not the height of hypocrisy? Think about it. You stab him in the back, you get rid of him, you make him a laughing stock all around the world, and then you want to say, I want to put him on Mount Rushmore. Okay?
Put his ass cheeks on Mount Rushmore to show that he's shit all over America. Put his butt cheeks on there.
If this isn't mobs, you know what? The mob isn't as bad. Mob, we don't do that. We take care of business. We get rid of stuff. We don't undermine people. We don't go. We take care of it and get it over with and move on. This is worse. The Great American Stone Shrine to Democracy that features 60-foot faces of 4 truly great American presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. And you want Biden up there because you're trying to cover up for the stabbing in the back that you did? Such a consequential president of the United States, a quote from her, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Well, what did he do, Pelosi? How come he didn't go on to say he did this? What did he do? Pelosi sighed about Biden to interviewer Leslie Stahl, who was so startled, she retorted incredulously, Are you really saying that he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore? Lincoln and Joe Biden? Just think about that for a minute. Think about Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, all of these people, George Washington,
Roosevelt.
got us through the Revolutionary War.
Roosevelt.
Okay, and made America American.
Yeah.
And she's saying Joe Biden belongs up there. Is this the height of hypocrisy or what? And now they're trying to do the same with Kamala Harris, who has no record to stand on whatsoever. And it's been
the only record Kamala has is a record of destruction and very, very leftist, hyper radical, just like Tampon Tim. These are the two most radicals that could end up on a ticket for president and vice president in America. It's either going to be a Marxist country like we never knew before, or Donald Trump will restore it. That's it. Plain and simple.
I think 14 days, she won't even talk to the press. They're afraid to put her out there. This is the basement tactic that they used on Joe Biden. Keep her away from the press. And yet this hypocrite, this mob-related hypocrite, her father, gets up there and wants to spew more garbage on all of us. But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful, Pelosi insisted. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden. What kind of sense is this woman making? Don't take Teddy Roosevelt down. Well, thank you for that. Okay, but put Biden maybe right next to him. And maybe a list of his accomplishments underneath there, why we should put him up there. Do you want to talk about that? In fact, it would be hard to think of any female politician in American political history whose neck is made of a stronger metaphorical alloy of copper and zinc. But she always had a forked tongue. This is the reporter saying this. No, I wasn't leader of any pressure party, she said. When Stahl asked if she led the plot to topple Biden. She's lying. Well, let me say things that I didn't do. I didn't call one person. I did not call one person. I could always say to him, I never called anybody. Yeah, what did she do? Put her minions out to have them call her? You know what I mean? These are the people.
Just like the mob, have somebody else do your dirty work. You know, well, you don't have to guess. The globalists, Bezos, Gates, all the trillionaires, and then Obama is the in between. He he's the broker.
People that are leading us. They're liars, they're frauds, they're hypocrites, they're backstabbers of their own. These are the people that are making policy for you and me and our families and our kids, our grandchildren. This is what you got. Even if you take her at her word, which I don't, this was akin to hearing the aforementioned Michael Corleone saying he never killed his mafia mob boss rivals. You remember that? What a scene that was, remember during the baptism? And, he killed all of his rivals. If Nancy Pelosi could do that, I think she would, I'll be honest.
There'd be nobody left.
He didn't. He just got his people to kill them while he attended the baptism of his godchild, praising God and renouncing Satan and all his works. Wow. Think about it. Here's Nancy Pelosi saying he needs to be on Mount Rushmore. This was after she stabbed him in the back, got him out of office. This is after talking 3.5 years about how wonderful he is. So she went to wonderful defending him because she could control him because he was a puppet, to stabbing him in the back when the donor money shot down and they figured he couldn't beat Trump, get rid of him, throw him to the wolves, 50 years of service, who cares, a colleague, doesn't matter, get rid of him, mob-style stuff, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. And now to cover that up, she wants to put him on Mount Rushmore, the most ridiculous suggestion ever, without saying one word about any of his accomplishments because he doesn't have any other than destroying the country. Pelosi continued, what I'm saying is I had confidence that the president would make the proper choice for our country. After we threatened him and stabbed him in the back, she's leaving that out, whatever that would be. And I said that whatever that is, we'll go with. Hypocrisy. You got to give her credit. The woman is slick. She's as slick as any mobster I knew.
She's consistent. She's evil all the time.
As everyone knows, including Biden, is total bull, the rest. As was Pelosi's claim that she never noticed any decline in the president's abilities.
No.
Remember she said that? 3.5 years, they all lied to us. 3.5 years. How could you put these people back in office? How could you do it? They lied to us consistently about something so serious. that the world was thrown in chaos as a result. People want to put him back in office. You trust them? God, mobsters wouldn't do that.
Nope.
No way. Not in a million years. The whole reason for your plot to get rid of him was his physical and cognitive decline laid bare so obviously in that debate. Perhaps the creepiest.
They make the mobsters look like Boy Scouts, truly evil to do this stuff to a country. You got Biden, who did his campaign from a basement. Kamala, she's just going to do an interview sometime in the future. It's been 24 days since she had a conference or anything else. 20 something days now. They don't care. They're just hanging their hat on the fact that there's enough retarded people in America that will just vote. Emotionally vote. They're emotional voters. We don't like Donald Trump, so we'll take Charles Manson instead.
Moment of breathtakingly disingenuous interview. This is when Pelosi did the interview with Leslie Stahl. Came when Pelosi smirked after being asked how Biden feels about her now and replied, "He knows I love him very much." Oh my, this is it's almost Shakespearean.
Leslie Stahl asked Nancy Pelosi, well, how's Joe Biden feel about you now? He knows I love him. You just sent the freaking posse, the hit crew, to take him out. He knows I love him, and I even want to put him on Mount Rushmore.
This is mob stuff, people. I wrote the book Mafia Democracy because this is mob stuff. Classic mob stuff. I don't know who learned from who. I don't know if we on the street learned from these people or these people learned from us. But either way, this is mob tactics to the nth degree. You know, first she loves him, then she stabs him in the back, tries to push it over, put him on Mount Rushmore, and now she says, I love Joe Biden. You just weren't useful anymore, Joe. So the hell with you. What a hypocrite. She could be a mobster. What Biden really knows is that one of his closest friends in politics, listen to this, that was Nancy Pelosi, someone he's known and worked with for over 40 years, and who, like him, is a devout Roman Catholic. How could you be a devout Roman Catholic and call for abortion in the 9th month? That's what they do. Don't let them.
They call themselves Catholics and Christians while they're doing the devil's work? Yeah, okay.
Tell you anything different. How could you be a devout Catholic and say you agree with abortion, period, but abortion in the 9th month, in the last term? That's what they believe. And Joe Biden has said it. Joe Biden has also said he encourages gender-affirming surgery and not having to tell the parents in minors. But he's a devout Catholic. So is Nancy Pelosi. Says her prayers and all that, stab in the back. Like him is a devout Roman Catholic who carries rosary beads in her pocket. Oh my God. You know what? You got to pray for Nancy Pelosi. She carries rosary beads in her pocket and a knife in the other pocket.
She carries rosary beads in one pocket and a knife in the other pocket. She better hope that those rosary beads just don't spontaneous combust in her pocket.
Pounced on him in his most vulnerable moment and devoured him like a ravenous jackal, feasting on the still twitching carcass of an elderly bison. That's the best way to describe it. And in that moment, Nancy Pelosi revealed who she really is, a ruthless, conniving, mercilessly disloyal female version of Marcus Brutus. Let me repeat that again. Now, this is somebody else saying this, an observer.
Political.
And in that moment, Nancy Pelosi revealed who she really is. Pay attention, people. This is who they really are. A ruthless, conniving, mercilessly disloyal female version of Marcus Brutus. She revealed herself. Are you paying attention? Et tu, Brute, Caesar was said by Shakespeare at least to have remarked as his great friend led a rampaging group of senators to stick a large knife into him. There is no record yet of what Biden said as he realized his own game was up. But it wouldn't surprise me, given their shared knowledge of Latin phraseology from their faith, if it was 3 simple words. This is Joe Biden to Nancy. Et tu, Nancy.
Et tu, Brute.
People, I don't know what to say. You know, you don't want to get political, I get it, but come on. Don't you understand how these things affect your lives? This is a mob story. I just gave you a mob story. This is what you want from me. That's what you got. Okay, classic.
So you know how I feel about Mike, and I've said a lot about him and all that. That's one thing. But I do applaud because the mob is the mob. It's a psychopathic environment. But this is our country, and he's got a big platform, and he's speaking facts and truth about what's going on. Maybe he can swing some voters out in that shitbox state of California where the electoral votes are huge out there. So maybe he could get some votes for the Republicans. So I respect that. What the heck? Prices are everything. At this point in time, it's survival for freaking food and expenses and everything else. At least he's on the right team. He's on the right team. Whatever the mob is and all this and that, yeah, I've been very animated and MF'd him many, many times about what he did and everything. Yeah, no doubt. But I'm not that shallow to not realize that, so I just have to ignore and disagree what Mike Franzese is saying there when everything he says is what I've already said a million times before. And I got 6 viewers. He's got 1 million viewers. So I applaud that. And I'm being shadow banned anyways, and I'm being censored. So I applaud that. I applaud it. So hold on, folks. You sit back, you watch the country go into the freaking toilet, and everybody's getting censored. Oh, you see Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan. Everybody knows Joe Rogan. Somehow he got on CNN. They're talking back and forth. They thought he didn't like Donald Trump. CNN, that scum. That scum network. Joe Rogan. Now, what a following he has. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people. As well as Dana White. As well as Elon Musk. And because Trump has got the social media, Harris has got 99% of the network media and print media, and they got Google on their side. It's going to take a lot to go up against those forces. But yeah, Rogan got on there and tongue-tied the lady. Tongue-tied her. He said, I'm not very political, but it looks like she's doing all the wrong things. And Biden, and the CNN reporter's like, let's go to commercial. So that's that. That is that. Thank you, Ivan, Frank. EB23, where you been, bro? Philly Bob. Anybody else that comes in here, I don't know if you're able to subscribe because they got me censored over here, and that's the way it goes. Obviously, that's why Elon Musk went and bought his own thing, X, which is now over 1 billion views. CNN is puking. He just got more views doing that interview with Donald Trump than CNN does in a year. So we can, at least there's a little artillery to fight that crooked ABC, CBS, NBC. At least there's a little something out there to combat with this crooked media. So 1 billion views, that's cool. Of course, they might have been worldwide, and reclicks. And what they do there, they try to interfere with the reception. He was delayed 40 minutes. But guess what? They thought everybody would run away. They thought there was some kind of something that went wrong with the signal, whatever. Yeah, how convenient. They thought everybody would run away. Everybody sat and waited till it came back on. 40 minutes. And Well, people will just get disinterested. Oh, this is never coming on. I did it myself. Well, what's happening? I can't find it. It's gone. It's gone. Well, we all waited. There was 60 million watching it live. 70 million live. CNN was puking. CNN was throwing up live. CNN ratings can't beat the Three Stooges ratings. Yeah. Then what are they trying to do? No, you know what they try to do after the interview? They're trying to sue Donald Trump and Elon Musk for saying something. It's freedom of speech. Don't mess with Elon Musk. That's all I'm gonna. You guys can mess with Donald Trump, who is ultra rich. Don't mess with Elon Musk. Don't do that. CNN or weaponize the DOJ. Don't do that. Don't do that. This guy is from a different world. There's chess games and chess matches and everything else. Elon Musk is in a world of his own. Might be a great seer, a great man of enlightenment and everything else. So CNN is throwing up, and then they're trying to charge them with some bull crap. Just come up with more weapons. But see, time's running out, because when Donald Trump, they're trying to throw in these last punches. Okay. You'll see more of it, folks. I'm sure you'll see more of it before Election Day. Before Election Day, you're going to see some more tomfoolery and flimflammery from the DOJ and all this other stuff, because the clock is ticking. Because if Donald Trump gets elected, he's already got a laundry list of names. They're gambling. They're gambling on that side, and they're attacking Trump, because he cleaned the swamp out the first time. Now the swamp, the second time, the swamp is more infested than the first time. But they better get their toothbrush and underwear, because they will all be going to prison for all kinds of charges. So the clock is ticking. You can't even, they're controlling the Google and the other social media that you can't search. Thank God. I hope Elon Musk and Donald Trump do 2 more interviews. Look at this. What they just do. They just knocked me out. Look at this. They just knocked me out. Look at what they're doing to me. Look what they're doing to me. Look what they're doing to me. Wow. Look at that. You see, they signed me out right on the fly, folks. There you go. There's my little channel. They got keywords for programming, and they're censoring me right on out of the box. That's how communistic they are. My little channel. They signed me off right during my live stream. That's why I can't get any subscribers. And that's it. But I'm going to just keep going. And that's how evil they are. That's how evil. Yeah. Right during the live stream, it came up, oh, you are signed out. I didn't touch the damn thing. How'd I sign out? I'm not touching the computer. Evil. I'm used to it now. Before, I used to get more aggravated. I'm used to it. They want to crucify me. Well, go right ahead. I'll go down right to the end. I'll keep drawing. So I really appreciate Mike and respect Mike Franzese for doing that video, because that should be the sentiment of all Americans. Well, the Democrats got some kind of deranged syndrome that they just don't get it. You're cheering for your oppressor. You're cheering for the oppressor. Not that smart. So if you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description. And the book, it's a good book. There's a Cash App, Super Chat, anything you want to do, help a guy out. I'm swimming upstream. I'm censored. I haven't gained a subscriber in 6 months because they took that off the table. So that's it, folks. Continue on. Stay good. Stay healthy. Stay safe. and have fun this summer. And we got to pay attention to these things, but we still got to have good time and enjoy and raise our quality of living and raise our thinking and, try to enjoy. But this is a watershed moment in America. Which way will it go? Marxism or a free country? That's it. There's no turning back. And they're doing everything. These globalist billionaires, the print media, the network media, they're doing everything under the sun. Google, right? They heard me, the keyword Google. That's why they signed me out. They're doing everything. Total communistic tactics. Everything under the sun. So hang in there, folks. I'll get back. And that was a mob story. The government, the way the government rolls, you want to hear mob stories, just like Mike Franzese said? Well, that was a mob story. That's more evil than a mob story. All right, folks, have a good evening.